So, Bertie turned out to be Muriel the were-raven. Scrawny looking thing. But good people, them. Honourable. Strong. Fierce to defend their own and quick to embrace celebration from their successes. Half humans, I suppose, just like myself. And now, we've been welcomed back to Valakai with open arms. People were smiling, but it's not the same. Not the same smiling eyes as the children of the vineyard. I can't stay here. We can't stay here. The blade that Sergei brought. The devil's own brother's blade. It's calling out to me now. So what does this half-elf want? Can't he see I have a devil to slay? This is Red Moon role-playing.
Rictavio motions for you to follow him into his bedroom. Currently you are, of course, in the Blue Water Inn, having successfully aided the people here. Still, you can't help but wonder, what does this half-elf want with you?
I look around, trying to see if something odd is going on. I'm holding the book and walking along with him.
Erwin and his wife have returned downstairs to attend to the tavern. However, the only other patrons in the tavern presently are Muriel, Adrian, and some of the other children of the Martikovs. So there doesn't seem to be any need for business. They are watching the pair of you, concerned. You sense that if something were to go down, they would be ready to assist you, but they don't seem anxious yet. From what you can gather, you do recall the wife just mentioning that this Rictavio fellow has been here for a while. I don't think he's any danger, you assume.
What do I make of him? Does he look threatening? Does he exude any form of being not hostile, but that he could pose a threat to us?
You could roll me insight if you like.
I will do that. I roll a 6.
None at all. He is a half-elf, dressed in some fancy, almost circus-like looking clothing, young, doesn't have any weaponry on him. What harm could this fellow do to you?
Yeah, and at the same time I'm wondering what he could possibly help us with too, so probably gonna be a waste of time this.
He goes to his room, opens the door, he has a key it seems, unlocks it and bids you to enter. What do you two do?
I just go in, look around.
Me too. I do as well. What do we see?
This small room contains a bed heaped with wolf furs, a footlocker, a tall wardrobe, and a writing desk with a matching chair. There's an oil lamp resting atop that desk, and there is a little book currently on the desk. Rictavio moves to his bed, sits, frowns a little, and then as you enter, quickly moves behind you and moves to close the door. He gets his key and locks it from this side.
I cross my arms, holding the book in one hand, and I wonder, is that really necessary? I ask him.
All precautions are necessary. I am taking great risk in even speaking to you, but I have a feeling that you have made more progress than I have. This book they've given you, can I please see it?
What's he going to do with it?
Read it.
I look to Roman, and I shrug.
But what Of what use would it be to you? Are you not just a traveling carnival person? I mean, how is this related to you?
Yeah, that's right. That's what you told us. You didn't say anything else. Why would you possibly want to look at this? Some answers first.
He frowns. If you let me read the book, even just have a quick glimpse, I shall tell you what I can. Please?
No, I won't let you read the book. Now and I'm getting suddenly a bit angry now. I don't have time for this. You brought us to this room if you want to take part of what we've just been reading, which is quite, special information, as you might understand. I would like to know why.
He frowns in irritation. He paces a little. He's clearly very annoyed at your dismissal of him. Damn it. Very well. I require the book to find out the information within. It is vital to this realm and my objectives. I cannot tell you too much more than that right now, for it could risk absolutely everything and doom us all.
Well, who do you serve then? I mean, how do we know that you're not serving the enemy? How do we know that you're not against us? You have said nothing except for being some kind of carnival person. I mean, what reason would we have to do that? It doesn't make any sense to us.
Cannot fault your logic. Very well. I shall take a risk. If this goes wrong, it shall be your fault. And he moves a hand to his head and fiddles with nothing, because you do not see anything on his head. But he seems to be taking something off, and suddenly you find the half-elf is gone. At least the half-elf wearing colourful clothing and a circus outfit. In his place is an old man with grey hair, sharp spectacles. He is dressed in some ornate, almost noble clothing, with belts and buckles and leather armour underneath. He has a cane at his side, attached to his belt. Looks very fancy indeed.
I put my hand on my sword hilt in suspicion.
He takes a moment to adjust his glasses, putting now what you notice is a little old hat that he was wearing on the bed. My name is Rudolf van Richten. I am a vampire hunter. I have come here to destroy the devil. I need the information that might be in that book. Now, will you at least let me see it? Now that I have potentially blown my cover, doomed myself and you for your association with me.
Well, you could have just told us a bit about it. You didn't have to. Well, Rudolph.
The devil has eyes everywhere. Have you not learnt this already in your time here? He could be watching you right now, anywhere, downstairs, out that window.
Well, you could have just tried and tell us the truth, but, well, now we see that something is going on. Why have you come here? Why are you chasing this specific vampire?
Why not? I have killed many vampires in my time. Many beasts. Countless years. Count Strahd von Zurevich is one of the greatest vampires in these dread realms. If I can destroy him, it'll be a fitting end to my legacy.
I suppose that means that we are on the same side then. We are against the same foe. I suppose letting you see the book wouldn't harm in that case. It would probably help us all. Go ahead, friend, have a look.
Unless it's some sort of other trick, I say reluctantly as I hand over the book.
I have given you an element of trust. Now you'll have to return it. We are both in jeopardy otherwise.
And I hand over the book.
He nods and begins to inspect it. He moves to sit at the table. He gets an adjustment on his glasses, frowning as he starts to open the pages and read. Yes. Yes. It is as I thought. Yes, good. How has your progress been with this blade you spoke of before?
Well, we have not found its location or anything yet. All we know for now is that it was brought here by this Strahd's brother, but we don't know the location of it, and it doesn't mention in the text as far as I can see.
Yes. This is useful information. But it is still not enough. You realize you cannot face him with this alone.
I suddenly become a little bit eager, despite my hesitance. Do you know anything else about this blade, then? Do you know why I keep having dreams about it?
He frowns at this. Dreams? No, I do not know why you have been having dreams. That is very suspicious to me. However, there are numerous areas in Barovia that could contain such a weapon. It is a weapon that Strahd does not wish to be found. You can tell from this, it is already known to me. Any weapon that could actually be dangerous to him would be either kept very securely by himself or someone else. There are a few locations in these lands that could be the place, but I will need more time and more study. I have been here in Valakai trying to get the trust that you have so easily got with the Keepers of the Feather. I didn't wish to reveal their secrets, but I've been trying to get contact with them, trying to find out how many of them there are for their assistance.
Do you know... do they know about you?
No, and they mustn't. You mustn't tell a single thing. I told you I've revealed far too much, even letting you know who I am. I'm probably going to have to. My time in Valakai, I think, will be gone. It's not your fault, trust me, it is just better this way.
But are you interested in working with us, or do you want this blade for yourself to defeat him?
I work alone. However, I guess we shall see who gets there first. I will not exactly get in your way. I'm just implying that I have things I need to do. I need to search other locations as well. Most of the holy sites here are tainted in some way, even the Abbey of St. Markovia.
The Abbey, you say? St. Markovia? What is that?
It is the Abbey in Kresnik. You will not have been there. They are not very keen to let people in, I myself included. The Abbey was said to once be a place of great holiness in this land. I feel something important could be there. Although, I can't help but wonder at its current state. Not much in these lands remains pure and good for long.
Well, if it is any help, we've understood that there's often been instances of this devil or Strahd or vampire where he goes after, young maidens, sort of replacing his lost Tatiana or whatever her name was. We have a friend who he's apparently after, who's currently taking shelter in the church here in town. I think there's a slight risk that someone, some servant or his, or I don't know if he appears himself, just flying in like vampires might do. I admit I don't know too much about these creatures. To get her herself. In case you wanted to set some sort of trap, I don't know what you do.
I would not use your friend as bait, especially as, like I've said, we are not ready. I have been here for months now, trying to be undercover, trying to research as much as I can. I have a place of operations I've been using.
How come, by the way, that you decide to be a half-elf carnival person? It's not really... it's not discreet.
You are aware of your situation, aren't you? You've been here long enough to understand how this place works. You are being watched. Everything you do is being watched. There is no way I would be able to remain completely undetected in his realm, and at the same time investigate what I need to without being completely invisible. Therefore, I have to appear as if I am just a foolish individual who has wandered in, beneath his notice. He is looking for me. He will be looking for any trace of me. He is aware that I have entered his realms.
Huh. Right. So, I see. So you try to rather be something colourful that doesn't look sort of too suspicious. I'm trying to work, and the Roshik stands for a bit, trying to work this out in his mind.
Exactly. I have attempted to be very visible in a harmless way, rather than trying to be invisible and be easier to be found. I already have attempted a trap, and it failed. Hence the need for even more secrecy. You say you have a friend here, someone you think he's after. Why? Yes. I need more information. He has attacked you already, yes? Tried to take her from you?
Well, yeah. When we were travelling here from, what was it, the other place? Valakai? Or is that where we are now?
We are in Valakai now, Roshik, yes.
What was the other place called?
Barovia.
Huh. That's the one. We travelled from there. Well, we were escorting the Burgomaster because he wanted to get his sister here, which is the one called Irina. And on the way here, we were met with a pale elf with dark hair who was supposed to serve this master of his, and claiming that he was after her, and there were voices and wolves and all strange kind of things appearing, and then he said he will let us be to let them, the siblings, mourn their father. Strangest idea. I suspect that's not completely true.
That is very troubling. He should not have just let you pass. You realize there is no safety in these walls, yes? You realize that all of this, these guards, this mayor's foolish notions of safety are meaningless, correct?
So that's why he didn't mind us getting into the village then? But do you think he let her in here because it would be somehow better for him that she was in here? Do you think there's a purpose for her to be in here?
Everything he does has purpose. He seems agitated now. He immediately moves and starts packing away that book you saw and collecting some bags. I need to leave immediately. I would suggest you both leave immediately. Take your friend. Keep her moving. There's no safety for her here. No, this is not good. I have a place I have found. It's not totally safe, but it is unnoticed for now. It's an old tower on the road past here, on the way to the Wizard of Wines in Kresnik. I have used it as a base of operations for the moment. If you pass by, and there are a few stones laid in a special pattern, then I shall be present. If not, then I am not present. Do not try and enter if I am not there to let you in. It has powerful protections.
Well, is that we passed by there, I think, on the way here. Is it just a small path into the forest?
It's one of them, yes. It has roadways. I shall be leaving now. He moves and hands you the book. I do not feel I need that book any longer, but it could be very useful to you. You keep it on you. It is best to keep these things separate, yes. I need to find out more information. I need to find out how to get into that abbey. That's what I need to find out, and I will try and find out more about this blade. I wish you luck in your endeavours. I am sure we will cross paths again, but I'm afraid I can offer you no more further assistance, other than... Pauses for a moment. Do you even know how to deal with vampires?
I looked to Roman and then back. Well, I've not had the experience, but maybe you have.
We did deal with a weak vampire on our way here, but I fear that were we to meet one that is in a strong state, then we would have little chance. But we do have magics. We do have my god. We do have the protection that Lathander can give us. We just have to pray that will be enough.
We dealt with a weak vampire? Do you mean the elf on the horse? Was he a vampire as well?
He may also have been that, but I'm referring to the child. Child in the church.
In Barovia?
Yes.
Was he a vampire?
He was. That is why what happened. That is why we were not able to fell him, why we were not able to take him down. Why he kept going and going until we finally had to end him.
He was one slippery bastard. Really hard to bring down, yeah. And he was one of the weaker ones, yeah?
Of course he was. You do not think an individual as Strahd would share power with those who could actually be equal to him. All spawn in these lands are his spawn. You're familiar with stakes, you are familiar with the holy rituals, your weapons, he looks to you, Roshek. I hope those are not just dull blades. They need to be at least enchanted by some form of blessing or otherwise, or they will have no effect.
Well, they did seem to make a little bit of effect on. I mean, they scratched we killed that one.
One weak lone one. You clearly do not understand. You will need better gear. You will need to be better prepared to even know any of their weaknesses. Sunlight, obviously here, minimal. You, priest, perhaps have some powers that may assist, but they will not assist as much as they normally would. They cannot cross thresholds unless you invite them in. Running water is also weakness, although good luck getting any of them to a river.
Running water?
Fresh running water from a stream. They cannot cross it. It is abhorrent to them.
Interesting. But where would I find such weapons? I mean, this is a fine longsword, but it's not enchanted.
Perhaps your priest will be able to do some rituals. Anyway, my time here is running short. I'm going to need to collect my things and go. My plans here, I'm afraid, will no longer work. I do not blame you for this. You did not mean to come, but your coming has changed everything. There is something afoot. If I were you, I would try, if you truly wish to kill the devil and find these other things you need. I am sorry that I can offer you no other clues. I guess you don't even have any idea yourselves. You don't have to reveal this, of course, Roman, but you're intelligent enough to realize that that's not entirely correct. You have been given prophecy. That is not no clues.
That is true. We do know things, but, well, those are for us, I think.
He nods and collects his things. My advice to you is that then, and also to get you and your friend out of here immediately. I do not know how much time you will have.
Do you have any idea where we should go then? Where we should bring her? Or maybe you know, Roman. Well, either way, I suppose we should get to the mayor to collect the reward for the winery. Well, I'll see you around then, vampire hunter.
He frowns a little, shakes his head, and pauses for a moment, and then leaves. Roman, you could roll me an insight check if you like.
12.
He enters again quickly, you notice, suddenly collecting that hat from the table and resuming his disguise. It comes upon him almost instantaneously. Interesting, that. And he begins to leave. This fellow, useful perhaps, but rude, arrogant. Why would he refuse assistance? I guess it doesn't bother you.
No, and he has left now.
Yes, he goes, immediately, very quickly.
Well, I shrug again and I put the book into my pack. Well, are we going to the mayor then? Where are we going to bring Irina if not keep her in the church?
Yes, that is a good question. If Valakai is not in any way safer than, well, anywhere else in Barovia, then I suppose we could bring her with us. And we could also try to visit our new friend, if you can call him that, in his tower. Perhaps that may also be a location of interest. My thoughts, though, are drawn to this abbey. The abbey that Madame Eva mentioned.
I knew we heard about an abbey before. I thought I recognized it.
Yes, in the reading. The cards. And I have seen it in my dreams. There's something important about that place. And he mentioned that there may be weapons there, powerful items. Perhaps that is where your blade is, or something else that may be of help to us. He is correct that our weapons are not enchanted, they are not really up to par. They're not really up to snuff when it comes to the threat that we stand before. We need to become stronger, and perhaps this will also give us some answers.
Well, if nothing else, maybe they can point us in a direction of these sorts of things. But what you said about you being able to do a sort of ritual on the weapon, is that something that you do?
It is not something that I am able to do, at least not yet. But with Lathander's guidance, perhaps I may be able to learn that in the future. But I have other powerful prayers that can assist us. I can bring forth daylight now, and that should at least be able to buy us some time if we are put in a difficult situation.
What do you mean, bring forth daylight? Do you mean you can you can clear these skies?
I can create a small sun.
A small sun? Well, I'll be interested to see that.
Yes, I will as well.
Are we going to the mayor to, finish up this business?
We do owe him a report back, don't we? We do not wish to make an enemy of him. He has, yes, there are some doubts regarding whether he's a good man or not, but we did visit his home. We did promise to do something for him. We have done it. Let us go there and tell him that the deed is done, and hopefully there will be no ill effects from that. Hopefully we will be able to part as friends.
I am starting to leave, and then I say, like, over my shoulder, it was kind of interesting that about his son and keeping himself locked up with his books. You know, on the night that we were visiting the house, and I stopped moving down the corridor of rooms, still talking over my shoulder. Are you coming along?
Yes, I am following.
Yeah. The night we were there, I saw some bright purple lights, I think, coming from the attics. I'm thinking that perhaps his son is dabbling in magic or something.
Youth. Yes. I make a deep sigh, and I become quiet.
And I stop moving, keep moving down the hall till we come into the main room of the tavern.
You go downstairs, and again, things seem normal enough down here. These conversations have taken about an hour or so. You notice Rictavio, Van Richten, is gone. A few other patrons have come in. A lot of people are very happy, it seems, to be sampling fresh, new wine. They are drinking quite heavily. Their faces, for a moment, one or two at least perhaps, having some comfort. You notice one man in the corner, drinking the wine, and yet still his expression is dull, vacant. Still, who are you to judge, eh?
I go over to, our friends, Muriel and the others, and I just let them know that was sort of done here. We're going to see the mayor, then find our friend in the church, and then we might set out for an abbey. Do you know the location, Roman?
It's close to Kresnik, the Abbey of St. Markovia.
That's where we're going.
Ah, Muriel nods. Kresnik. Oh, you'll have a difficult time getting in there. Or you would normally. If you're heading there, I have a suggestion. One of the barrels of wine, take it with you. You've got horses, you could attach one. That will be a good bargaining chip to get in. They are not like... if you can believe it, they're even worse than here. They do not like people coming in. We are one of the few individuals who ever even go there. After all, everyone wants wine, but otherwise they are a very fortified location. They do not like visitors. People do not hear from them. But yes, no, the Abbey of St. Markovia has stood within Kresnik, high on the hill, for hundreds of years. Although, she shrugs, they are very quiet about it when we visit. I do not know if anyone is even there still. No one really likes to talk about it there.
Saint Markovia, is that a saint connected to the Morning Lord, or a different deity?
Roll me history.
I roll a 9.
You think to yourself, well, obviously a saint is a saint. You do think, did you hear about it in a book? Maybe you did. You can't quite recall the reference, though, or any real importance to it. But you do recall that you would have read about it in your studies, so you suppose surely it must be to do with the Morning Lord. The religion here, after all, does seem predominantly focused on this, well, they call it the Morning Lord. You're starting to think now maybe it's just an antiquated version of your current faith. You're not quite sure why it would be antiquated. But yes, it sounds familiar, but don't think it has any specific reference, although if she had an abbey named after her, it must be important. After all, abbeys are larger facilities than churches in this scenario.
That is certainly true. I understand.
Alright, that sounds like a good idea. I can't blame anyone for being suspicious round here. As a matter of fact, it makes it least suspicious that they're suspicious, if you see what I mean. So, would we get that keg then, and we'll get on our way after we visit with the mayor?
Yes, let us do that. Let us do that.
Muriel nods and you sort out the details. You find out that her and Andric will be leaving first thing in the morning anyway. They will not be staying for this festival. They think it is meaningless. You've been getting the feeling now that the entire Martikov family is not really keen on this event, although you find out that Erwin, of course, will be opening the tavern and serving wine to everyone, as usual business. But yes, they agreed to give you 1 barrel, which could easily be taken on one of your horses, which you now have 2 of. And now you will tell me what you do. You have sorted out a barrel. They say they're leaving in the morning. You wish to go to the mayor, though, now, and sort out your dealings.
Yes.
Yes, we should do that.
Very well. You leave the inn and begin to make your way back through the town of Alakai. Evening is slowly starting to draw in, although it's not quite evening yet, but it's always hard to tell here in Barovia. Again, you go past people. There are a lot more posters now. This festival is tomorrow afternoon, or roughly around tomorrow afternoon, you assume. Again, even more of those masks are on people. You notice a man in an alleyway trampling one of those masks under his foot and swearing to himself, but as he catches your eye, he very quickly picks it up and moves away as if afraid that you'd notice what he was doing. And you make your way to the manor. It's very busy. There's quite a few people coming in and going. They all look miserable as they carry twigs and bundles of masks on their person and other barrels and supplies. Clearly the festival preparations are still getting underway. The guards notice you and nod and lead you back through, and you see in the hallway the mayor. Baron Vargas is talking with his wife, Lydia, as you recall. They're chatting about something. He sends her off with a huff and off she goes. You also notice briefly a young man passes very quickly past you. He looks a little bit like Vargas, only younger and far less rotund and greasy. He quickly pays you no attention and heads straight up the stairs. Vargas comes over. Ah! The saviors of Alakai! It is good to see you again, friends. Welcome, welcome. Yes, do not worry. Already my men have told me we will have wine tomorrow, and you have sorted out the problems. This is very good, very good. I am very proud of you, especially you, my friend Roshek. Yes, I knew you would deliver. I knew.
Yeah. Preparations going alright for your festival?
Ah, indeed. Things will be going splendidly. But I know why you are here. Yes, a little reward for helping us. Of course. And he reaches into his belt And he picks out a purse, which he tosses at you. You will inspect it and find it contains 30 gold pieces. It's quite a nice sum.
Alright. Is that a good payment for this? What we've done?
It's a payment. You don't know if you can negotiate or not.
So, I'm afraid we won't be able to stay for the festival. We have some business outside of town.
He blinks a little. He laughs. Ah! Business outside of town. A good joke, my friend. Oh, always a good joker you are indeed. Yes, yes. No, of course. Yes, no. Tonight, I will send some men to you are staying at the Blue Water Inn. You will have some fine foods, and then tomorrow, yes, I am very looking forward to your participation in the festival.
Right. Good. Yeah.
Not business outside of town. Did you hear that, my wife? Did you hear that? Business outside of town. Or what's that? You're going to go hunt some wolves.
Yeah, we're gonna hunt some wolves. Yeah.
Very good, but no, I am looking forward to, especially he comes over, Roman, I have a special part in the speech. Yes, you will come in at a good moment. It'll be very dramatic.
I see. That sounds interesting. Yes, very interesting.
And he goes back to talking to his wife. He seems dismissed of you at this point.
Yeah, I'll leave.
Yeah, me as well.
Excellent. You leave. As you're leaving, again, you step outside and you just notice, not at all hidden now, that man you've seen a few times. He's just sitting smoking a pipe and watching you. Although, again, as he catches your eyes, he just sort of diverts his attention and continues smoking a pipe.
It's the man that I pursued earlier, is it? Alright, then I start walking up to him.
He frowns, and then he just sort of bobs his head at you.
Hello there, friend. We didn't get a chance to speak last time we, almost met.
I come up to join them as well.
We've never met. I don't know who you are. Now, leave an old man to his pipe.
Come now. There is no need for that. We both know that you have been keeping an eye out for, either us or this place, perhaps. Not quite sure. But, surely, you must be curious about something. Why don't you just ask? We'd be happy to talk to you.
I got nothing to be curious about. You're travelers. You've done some good for the town. And you're good friends with the Baron. Good for you. I'm looking forward to your speech at the festival. And he starts to move off.
I'd almost forgotten about that speech bit. Are you actually going to do it?
Let him leave. Doesn't seem to be that interesting anyway. Yes, well, that is an interesting question, isn't it? If we do not give him what he wants, well, I suppose we will need to look out for ourselves the next time we come here. But then again, we don't quite know where he intends to take things during this festival, and we have certainly things to do that are more pressing. Yes?
Yeah, I would agree. Well, let's head to the church then.
Yes, let's.
You begin to head off from the mansion. You turn round to see one more time that old man watching you, but then gone. And you begin to make your way to the church, where you've not yet been. You begin to approach the church. This slouching, centuries-old stone church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked, stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church. A thin mist creeps among these graves. As you enter, you see what seems to be a very humble church. If anything, it seems smaller than the one in Barovia. Although, unlike the one in Barovia, this one is not filled with blood and mess. There are actually several people in here, huddled in the alcoves, praying, holding little symbols of... Again, they look a little like the Morning Lord's symbols, Roman, but very old-fashioned, very simple. There is a man at a pew, sort of talking to someone, a young boy, you notice, who scurries off with a broom. There's an older boy, as well, as you came in, who sort of gave you both of you very dagger eyes, and then turned off before sweeping his part of the floor. What do you do?
I look around to see if Irina is in there somewhere.
Looking around at this point, you don't particularly notice any sight of her, but there are, of course, some doors leading off to what you assume would be some back rooms. Also, Roshek, roll me a perception check.
20.
As you entered the church, you took a moment to look behind you, in passing, and you couldn't help but notice that there was a patrol of guards, sort of making their rounds near you. At their head was Izek Strasny. You're pretty sure he gave you a look as you entered the church, but you assume they probably just moving on, but something makes you feel a little uneased about that for some reason. You're not quite sure.
They didn't like me coming in here, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Well, maybe it has something to do with Irina. I think for it a bit as I look around. Can't see her.
No, me neither. But, perhaps we can ask around. She might have been given her own quarters here.
That's right, it might be. There are a few back rooms here, after all.
Yes, is there a priest around here?
Yes, the main man talking to the people is dressed in priest garments.
Is he in the middle of preaching right now, in the middle of a service, or...?
He seems to be now just reading a book to himself. You're not sure there's any official service going on. But, yes, you start to walk towards him, and Roshik, you take one more look behind you. And you, yes, are very certain now. That patrol isn't moving. Izek and his men are standing outside and watching. Izek's eyes catch yours for a moment. And again, that dead stare. That stare that is not friendly or pleasant. You hear weeping for a moment from one of these people in these pews. You turn and see a woman crying to herself. Interesting, though, because it almost seems a bit surprising to you, Roman, because so far, so many of these people barely have any emotion at all, and yet here this woman is actually showing some sorrow. Although perhaps they've all been showing sorrow. Roshek, your attention still is behind you, but you notice that these men outside, Izek, aren't approaching, weapons are not drawn. Your sense of danger is satisfied for the moment. In front of you is this priest. He's quite young, Roman, perhaps more similar to your age, for a priest anyway, maybe even a bit younger. He has still colour in his hair. He has a very interesting shaped nose, very sharp. It makes you think of the wife, actually, of Vargas Valakovich. I wonder if there's a relation there, perhaps. Maybe not. He is looking over a book as you approach. What do you do?
Dawn be with you, brother, I say, and I approach him.
He looks up and offers you a smile. A slightly strange smile. He seems very tired. Oh, the Morning Lord's blessing upon you, brother. You must be the priest and his companion who've been helping us in the town. Yes, yes, greetings to you. Worry not, Irina is being well taken care of. She's, I think, resting for now, but, you could visit her if you wish. Do not worry. We were told very directly that she will be staying here for some time, and we are ready to facilitate her. Yes, we are.
I see. Yes, we would like to speak with her, to just let her know that our journeys are going well, and yes, to check in on her. We are a little bit concerned. Obviously, she's been going through a lot of tough things recently.
Of course, yes, no, she is perfectly safe here, and everything is well, as the mayor says, all will be well. Yes, certainly, you go, he points to the back doors and ushers you through. You wonder, Roman, why he's so nervous. Maybe he's just tired.
Can I perhaps try to deduce that from his body language and anything that he's saying?
Roll insight.
17.
He's worried about something. Not in a malicious way. Seems to you like he is a priest. He's a good priest. from what you can gather from his body language. You look around, you don't see anything suspicious, but he's definitely concerned about something. He seemed, especially when he said things like all is well, and how we've done what the mayor has asked. He always put a fear on those sentences.
Tell me, brother, something seems to be weighing on your mind. Perhaps talking about it would help ease your burden.
No, brother, all is well. We are just... we were part in the festival tomorrow is quite complicated. We will be doing a good ceremony here. I assume perhaps you will attend after your speech. It would be welcome to have another priest here to administer to the feast of St. Andrew's. It's something we don't normally do at this time of year, but the Baron has requested it be moved forward, so we shall be doing it tomorrow. There's a lot of preparations I need to make. It's quite challenging, but it will be fine. Don't worry yourself. If you want to go and see your friend, I can't trouble you with these things. Perhaps tomorrow we can discuss things.
I smile and I nod. And I move towards the door that he has indicated.
Indeed, you both begin to move towards those doors. Roshik, you notice, looking around again, you're being quite observant, that older boy is sort of staring at you. He has an expression of disgust on his face. He shakes his head and sweeps the floor. Anyway, you approach the door. What do?
Did the priest come with us?
No, he just ushered you through. You're looking at this door, and it doesn't seem like it's some ornate, well-guarded door. You're probably thinking it just goes into some dormitories.
Yes, I open the door and I move inside.
I just suddenly turn away and walk towards the priest again, letting you move on into the door.
Roman, you enter and find yourself in some small dormitories. There is a familiarity here for you. You've seen many dormitories like this. Sparse, basic, but they do the job. After all, you have your god to serve. You do not need luxury.
Yes, seeing this makes me remember the Song of the Morning Temple, where I've spent the last... so much time these last few years. Sweeping the floors, making everything clean for Lathander, praying, remembering prayers, studying the books, studying the holy texts, memorizing... I miss part of it. There was something safe about the predictability of that life, of knowing what would come next, of knowing that nothing would be different the next day. And now everything is different, every day, all the time, in a different world. I start looking around for Irina.
You pass a few rooms and finally come to one where the door is closed, but you think you hear the sound of someone sort of moving around. You push on it, it's not locked, and you find Irina. She is surprised for a moment to see you, but then offers you a smile. She was just sitting, it seems, in this room, staring out the window. Ah, Roman, you've returned. You're safe. I am glad of this.
Yes, we are safe, both myself and Roshik. We were able to help the city out, and we were able to learn a little bit more about this devil, about the one that is out to get you. We understand that you were correct in that there's really no place that is safe, is there? Not here. Not Barovia.
She frowns a little. What has made you come to understand me? You're right. Surely you can feel it. This place we're in. What's the difference between this building and the church we had in Barovia? I do not feel any holy energies here. No walls of protection. It feels to me just like another grave.
Yes.
Can you feel it too?
I can feel it. I think I had hoped that there would be some beacon of light in this dark sea that we find ourselves in, but I've come to see that I was mistaken. This is no true light. This This is just more darkness. This is just temporary safety, if even that. If he wanted to get you, he could get you here as well. And the mayor, the baron, would do nothing to stop him. Well, he could try, I suppose, but he wouldn't be particularly successful.
I do not believe so. I agree with you. She sighs and moves to sit on the bed. Still, where exactly else are we going to go? Do not be harsh to the priest, by the way. I think he means well, but he's been nervous since I've come here. I think he wants to make me feel that this is a safe place, but he doesn't believe it. He knows it. And, yes, and these guards, this baron. Have you seen the people in the streets? People are beaten for the simplest of things. And that one, that man. Both mornings since you've been gone. Well, how long have you been gone, I suppose? Only a day or two, hasn't it? He's always there watching. Constantly watching this place, watching me. I don't like it. Something about him unsettles my teeth. Still, what is your plan then? Where am I going if not here?
You could come with us. We need to find a way out of here. I will not remain here. And Roshek is set on this quest to kill the devil. I suppose that would be one way out of here. Perhaps that is a safe place to be, as safe as any, really. To be on the move, to not be in one place. Perhaps then he wouldn't know where you are. Perhaps that would be a chance. And we know that you're capable. You're capable of taking care of yourself in a fight. We could use you.
She nods a little and moves towards the side of the bed. Her sword is there. She picks it up and gives it a bit of a polish with a piece of cloth. Maybe you're right. Maybe if I am going to be taken anywhere, at least being on the road. I feel good about that. I have not felt good here. Which is strange because a little part of me feels that maybe this place wouldn't have been so bad once. There's this strange familiarity I have. I can't place it, though. I don't understand it. Still, very well. What is the plan, then? We are leaving after this festival and your speech and all that?
Perhaps even now. Perhaps this would be a good time to go. What do you say? I know it's a bit sudden, but...
She looks a little confused and nods. Oh, very well, I suppose I didn't really care for whatever this nonsense festival was anyway. I do not see a problem with this. I will pack and get ready to go. Why the urgency, though?
Have a bit of a bad feeling about this place, and we've met some people who have indicated that it might not be completely safe. The man in charge is also, well, unpredictable, isn't he? So, perhaps best to go while we know we can. Best not take any risks.
Very well, then I will get myself ready. And she begins packing and seems to be ready to leave with you as soon as possible. Roshek, you're outside. You've gone to this priest. What did you do?
Right. As I let Roman go in to find Irina, I go off to the priest and I say, "Sorry, a word, if you may."
He looks at you. He seems a little hesitant. You already can see behind his eyes that expression you've seen many times. Monster. Beast man. He doesn't say anything, though. Yes, sir? What do you desire? If I can give you some blessings of the morning, Lord, I am more than happy to do so.
Actually, I'm more curious about this church. Is there any... What entrances and exits are there from here?
He looks a little confused, and then he remarks, well, obviously you've got the front entrance right there, and, well, I suppose there's, through the dormitory, there's a side entrance into the graveyard.
Very well. You see, we don't have the intent of letting Irina stay here any longer. We realized that there is not really a safe place for her. We have decided to move on for a little while. And I've noticed that the outside front door is being watched by Isaac and his men. I don't believe you're too much of a friend of the mayor and everyone else, but I do understand your reasons for wanting to follow along.
He looks a little afraid as you speak. Not a friend of the mayor? What are you talking about? We are all loyal citizens here of Valakai. All is well, and I do not understand. You're leaving?
And, I turn on a hostile tone at this. Now you listen here, I understand that a bit more than you might think, that all is not always well in this city. I've seen people trample the masks of the festivals. I've seen the suffering. I understand that all is not well, and I know that this mayor is not as good and an honest man as he might make himself think, and I don't care what you think about it, but I want you to keep quiet about us leaving for now. Is that understood?
Roll me intimidation.
16.
He stares at you, fear in his eyes. Maybe you didn't intend it, but he sees, you can tell, a beast threatening his life. He just sort of... of course, I will be silent. I will not... I will do as you say.
I know. Very well. Enjoy your festival. Maybe I'll see you at it. And I take my leave and go find Roman.
You leave this priest who sort of takes in a deep breath, looking very shaken and distraught as you turn away. You, just before you enter the room, see that boy again looking at you. Curious expression on his eyes. The older boy, that is. The younger boy is just a little kid going around sweeping. Although you notice that perhaps some of the members of this procession have noticed your conversation and are looking a little confused, but you don't think they would have heard anything. Still, you go to the door and you find Roman and Irina just about to come through and meet you.
I go out and I greet them. And a side note, did we leave our horses here, or are they still at the tavern?
Both your horses and that barrel are at the Blue Water Inn.
Good. Come to meet them, see that they're ready to leave, and I nod at Irina. And I say, right, I've talked to the priest, there is a side exit here. I'm not sure if you noticed on the way in, Roman, but Isaac and his goons are just outside the church guarding it. I'm not sure about his intentions for Irina, but I'm sure there is something going on here, and I think it's better that we leave, well, unseen if we can. Just get out of the city before this all starts collapsing.
Yes, we are unfortunately going to make the mayor very disappointed, so... Yes, it is best that we disappear without a trace.
Well, I guess that depends on how long it will take for us to get to this abbey and wherever next. But there are things more important than his little festival.
There is indeed.
So, I turn to Irina. Are you aware of this side exit as well?
A door leading out into the graveyard. Oh yes, there's one this way. And she leads you to a door that leads out into the night air and the graveyard. It is mostly surrounded by a basic iron fence, but you do notice a little gate leading off to the side that, to allow people to come and go from the graveyard as they please. And you go out into the night, looking around. From this angle, you cannot see the front of the church too well, but they're there. What do you do?
I think we better not waste any time, and I start heading to the gate. We need to go to the inn and get our horses and then get out of here. Do you have a horse yourself, Irina?
She shakes her head. We have the wagon, but I suppose if you get your horses... Ismark left me with it. He didn't need it anymore. He didn't think he needed it anymore. I suppose we could wagon up, although maybe... You seem to be trying to be very discreet. Can we not just leave? Why would they keep us here?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they will keep us or not, but there is something going on. I don't know why they keep guards out there outside the church. keeping an eye on you like that. And the mayor seems very keen on keeping us here until we have this festival that he's talking about. I just don't trust it. That's all.
She nods. So, what do? You're standing now outside the church. There are multiple streets, but the main street would lead you straight past, again, the front of the church, and where you're pretty sure that patrol is. What's your approach to get back to the inn?
There must be some kind of alleys or something that would take us on a slight detour to get back to the Blue Water Inn. No?
Both of you make me perception checks.
That is a 8.
11.
You spot some side streets which you're pretty sure you could take. You're not entirely sure, though, where they'd go, but you're using basic logic here to assume that, it shouldn't be that hard to find your way back to the inn. Do you go that way?
Let's try and take some kind of smaller detour. Doesn't matter if it takes a little bit of extra time, but I don't think we can cannot take the main road. I think they will have that under watch.
Agrees.
You make your way into these side streets, trying to slip past these guards, which, at this point wasn't that difficult because they weren't looking, and you've found a little side street. You took the first one you could find. You begin walking. You haven't seen this part of Valakai before. Lots of residential houses. You get a bit lost for a bit. Left, right. You turn right. Trying to head in the direction where the inn would be on the main road. You briefly notice a very large house you pass by. Mansion, it seems. Very old and decrepit, leaning slightly to the left. You notice, passing by you in the street, 2 drunken individuals who you recall from the very first time you arrived. You saw these men in the Blue Water Inn, quite well dressed, thick beards, move past you, and pass you into the night, heading actually towards this large mansion house. But I'm guessing you keep moving.
Yes.
I look after them, and, then decides that we have got important things to do.
Yes, and you manage to find your way back to the Blue Water Inn. Although, Roshik, you feel you took a little too much time on that route. You could have found a better way, surely, but at least for now you know that you remain unseen in the night.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers, and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments, and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.